Okay, this is in response to a video that was posted about an electrostatic machine that he was calling Perpetual Motion that did not have a power source. He just started it up by hand and it just started running and running and running. And it drew a lot of attention, and they were discussing it on one of the forums, and several people made replications that of course did not work. If you think about it, carefully, especially if you've built these things, you understand that it was not going to work ever unless you had a power source. And this one here is running off a negative ion generator and a 12-volt battery. And it's a similar idea in that you set up a charge base on one side or the other and you cause a wheel to spin. And he had a similar wheel like this, only he had it in such a way that it was it had a concave part here and it had 2 points on the other side, and he had it set up so that he could take the rotor off and show the rotor and the whole bit. But this is really how they work. Let me disconnect this here. What you've got is you've got segments that pick up a charge on one side, and then it goes around and it transfers to the negative side on the other side, and the like charges repel and the opposite charges attract, and this just flips back and forth. And the little contact points here, these little tinfoil points, just get attracted or repelled by the static charge. And that's just enough to spin a lightweight wheel with a pretty good bearing. Let me start this up again, I'll show you. Anyway, it's in response to that video. I'll post a link to it, and you can see how this thing a little tricky to get started because the charge has to get around to the other side, and once it gets going. But that's a typical electrostatic motor running on a negative ion generator right there that puts up a static charge and causes it to go into rotation. And this is what I've done before. This is a typical electrostatic motor with a little handmade little generator. Let's see if I can get this one to go. There it goes. And that's the same idea. It's got a charge on one side and a charge on the other side. It's like charges repel, opposite charges attract, and then the little brushes tap the rotor and switch the charges on the plates. And that's how that works. But the device that he showed was so intriguing and it was so simple. I looked at that and thought, that might just work. But the more I thought about it, especially with the other people, it can't work. The question is, how did he fake that video? And I can't see any air blowing, I can't see a motor hidden, I can't see any sort of a battery, but he might have done it with some sort of an electronic device that put out an ionic field of some kind. I don't know how he would have done it, but these things don't work on strict atmospheric static electricity. They take quite a bit of energy really to make them go, and then there's very little torque. So if you have any kind of a friction going on, it's hard to get these things to keep on going. So anyway, that's my little reply to a YouTube video claiming a perpetual motion static electric motor. Thanks for watching.